So far in these activities, we've been focusing primarily on our share permissions. However, along with share permissions, we also need to be concerned about our file and folder permissions to make sure that we have the right permissions for our users. So in this activity, we are going to go ahead and explore some of those default settings and permissions for our users. Here we have our server SA1 and test vol1. We're going to go ahead and right click on test vol and go to properties and security. This is a DACL or distributed access, discretionary access control list. It's a list because there are multiple items in here, and we can click through each one and we can see, for instance, the everyone group has special permissions. Creator owner has special permissions. System has full control. Administrators have full control, and then users have a couple of permissions as well as some special permissions. We can see these permissions here and we can even edit them as well. However, a lot of the permissions also need to be set under the advanced permissions down here. So we will click advanced and we will see, first off, there are a couple of accounts here that have full control. The administrators group, the system itself, and then the creator owner. Now, if I click the creator owner to edit its permissions, one of the things that we'll notice is that this is for the subfolder and files only. And this is a permission that allows somebody who creates a file to have control over those files. So as soon as a user Joe creates a file, Joe is the owner of that file and now has these permissions to it. If I click cancel here and I go back to our list, we will see right here, server SA1 has, users on server SA1 has the ability to create files as well as write data, and they would then be the owner. If I click on this, here the user has rights, users have rights to create files and folders. However, with regards to applies to, we will see that it says subfolders only. So this means that a user, a general user on the system, can create files on our test file, however, not in the root of the partition, not in the root of the hard drive, but in a folder inside of test file. Additionally, we can see that everyone has read and execute permissions, however, by default does not have write permissions or modify permissions of any kind. We'll go ahead and cancel our permissions and cancel. Inside of test vol, I'm going to right click and say new folder, and we'll call this test perm. If I right click test perm and properties, and then we check the security tab, and we start looking at some of the options here, we will notice things like the system and users group, the options are grayed out. By default, these are grayed out because the permissions are inherited and we cannot change these. We can view as well in the advanced view. Same thing if we look at a specific user. Right here, all the permissions are grayed out and we can't change them because these permissions are being inherited from the folder above. Let's go ahead and cancel that and that and that. And then inside of test perm, let's go ahead and right click and say new file, text document. And we'll call this perm file 1. And if we right click perm file 1 and go into its properties, again, security and advanced, here we will see the owner is the administrators because I'm currently logged in as the administrator, as well as all the permissions All of the permissions are inherited. Again, if I look, they are all grayed out. The only thing that has changed is now, in fact, the owner, because it is a new owner as opposed to being inherited from a prior folder.